Hi, and welcome to my video. If you suffer from gut conditions, if you suffer from IBS, Crohn's disease, ulcerative colitis, SIBO, acid reflux, if you also get these unwanted symptoms that derive from these conditions like belching, bloating, extreme fatigue, headaches, migraines, skin conditions like acne and eczema, if you get abnormal bowel movement, then you want to stay tuned because what's following is going to interest you. So today I want to share with you a protocol that is going to help you to reduce or remove the symptoms of your gut condition. And also that's going to get your gut back to a health state. I have to warn you though, because the only way for this protocol to work is to follow it to the T, is to give it your 100%, and also to do it in the sequence that I'm going to talk about. So if you are changing the sequence of it, it may not work. So now let's delve into it a little bit more. The first thing of this protocol, the first thing that you're going to do is to remove anything that it irritates your gut. So for example, alcohol, sugars, processed food, caffeine, ready meals, so all these soda drinks as well, all these foods, if you are using them, then you're going to have to remove them. Sometimes we may also suffer from intolerances to gluten and dairy. If you are intolerant to gluten and dairy, please remove them as well. It's very important. Now, this can sound really crazy. You cannot do it, straight away from one day to the other. But what you can do is that you can pick 2 or 3 items every week and just decide to concentrate on those. So say, for example, next week, I'm going to start with reducing sugar, coffee, and tea, 3 items. The week after that, then I increase my removal by different items and again until you reduce anything that irritates your gut. At this stage, what you want to do is also to keep a food diary that will include the food intake, the hours that you're having the food, also the symptoms that you're getting and the hours of these symptoms. So that's very, very important that you keep a food diary. So a second thing from this same removal phase is the removal of supplementation. You need to give your gut a rest. So if you're taking any supplements, just keep them on the side for a while until you finish the protocol. If you are also taking medication that you are buying yourself over the counter, and if you can give it a rest as well, that's a good thing. I'm not suggesting that you're removing the medication that your GP has given you. So if there is a very good reason for you to take something, just please continue. That's not what I'm suggesting. But if you are taking some medication sometimes that it may not be really necessary, then try to reduce it. I'm thinking of ibuprofen, aspirin, things that maybe are also linked to your food choices. So that you can just remove them. So medication, if possible, leave it on the side for a while when it's over the counter and when you're self-medicating. A third thing that is very important is to manage the stress. If you are stressed, your gut is going to be impaired at a certain point. So really, if you are the stress type, think of introducing meditation, breathing techniques, body scans, visualizations. They're very important. They don't need to be 1 hour's meditation. Oh, no, I can't do that. They can be just 2 minutes meditations. They can be 2 minutes breathing exercises. It's just calming you down and it's helping the gut to restore itself. So if you are not the stress type, I still recommend that you're doing these. That you do maybe a little minute exercise before each of your meals, just to help the gut to go back to its, relaxed state and it's ready then to receive the food that you are giving it. So what is going to happen then, when you are not stressed, the gut is going to get the food, then it's going to be able to break it down in a much better way, but also to absorb the nutrients in a much better way. So that's all gain for you and for the gut. So that's the first step. The second step is just to change, just to replace a few items, find healthy alternatives to, the items that you were consuming before. So say, for example, that you were consuming a lot of bread, then you can find alternatives for that. Maybe, if you really must have a piece of bread, then try to have it, in a gluten-free alternative, like maybe a quinoa type of bread, or a protein flour-based bread, chickpeas as an example. Don't go overboard with it, because the body may not accept it either. So really, take your time to do your replacement, but that's very important. And also introduce, obviously, the very, important vegetables. Yeah, we really need a lot of them. They're full of nutrients. So, start with that and try, a few options, but that's what you need to do. Vegetables are very good for not only for the nutrients, etc., but they are helping the gut to produce digestive enzymes. And they're very important for the absorption and for breaking down the food. So they are part of the process and they are needed. When we have an impaired gut, most of the time we don't produce enough enzymes. So that's why we need to introduce vegetables. The second reason is that they stimulate the gallbladder to produce bile, which is also needed for the breaking down of our food. If we don't get enough of them, then the gallbladder gets sluggish and doesn't work anymore. Doesn't work as it should. So this is why, in this case, they are very important. So a third thing that you're going to do is the reintroduction of good bacteria. We need to look after our microbiome. Why is that? Because the gut is the second line of our immune defense. So any pathogen that we are inhaling, any pathogen that we are, breathing down, it's going to be, coming in the gut. And if we don't have enough of good bacteria, then the body can't fight them. So it will take a long time to fight them, or maybe not enough. It's going to make you even more ill. So this is one of the reasons why you want to have a healthy microbiome. In order to do that, it's very simple. You'll have to introduce fermented food. Now, the microbiome is very vast. There's like over thousands of these little guys. So you cannot just concentrate on one of them by eating the same fermented food. You will need to take one bit from one food and another bit from another one. So the fermented foods that you can include in your diet are kimchi, kefir, water kefir, and milk kefir. You can use alternative milk kefir if you want. If you don't want to make it yourself, you can find it in the shops, in the supermarkets. Fermented cabbage, so sauerkraut. You can make your own fermented carrots, fermented beetroots. Make sure that they're fermented. They're going to give you more good bacteria. You can also try kombucha. So all these options are there for you to try, but because you need to have a big array of these good bacteria, then I suggest that you alternate these things. So maybe one day you take 2 tablespoons of sauerkraut, and the second day you take 100 milligrams of kefir milk, and then again and again, and just change them so that you get as much as possible in the gut. But it's not enough to eat fermented food to recolonize our bacteria, good bacteria in the gut. We also need to feed the bacteria, because after 21 days, usually if you don't feed it enough, it just disappears and goes away, and it leaves us with nothing. Again, we need to start the recolonizing process again. So good bacteria, what they like mostly are garlic, onions, leeks, Jerusalem artichokes, and some flax seeds. So these are a few of the elements. So also introduce those vegetables into your diet. You need to be careful with those though, because sometimes they could cause an intolerant reaction. So continue keeping your diary. Yeah, never stop that. Continue your diary and introduce progressively some onion and a leek or a garlic. If you see that you have a reaction to those, then go back to the previous phase, to the second phase when we're talking about the replacing of things. So go back there, and then, that just means that, okay, the gut is not ready enough to receive these ingredients. It happens sometimes with onions, garlic, and leek, so don't be, scared. The fourth point that you're going to do after, getting your microbiome back on track is repairing the gut, continue the reparation of the gut. For this, really, it's very simple. You really want to have at this stage a full plate of vegetables in different colors. So you want to have carrots, orange of sweet potatoes, the green of broccoli, of spinach, the whiteness of the cabbage, of the cauliflower. You really want to have, when you look at your plate, you really want to see, the rainbow. That's how we call it, the rainbow. Why is that? Because each one of these ingredients, each one of these foods has a different level of nutrients. Some of them will have more vitamin A, some others some more vitamin D, etc. So you want to have a lot of them so that you can, you are sure that you have, all of the nutrients, possible nutrients, to help your gut. At this stage, you also want to include pulses if you haven't done that. So you just include some pulses because they're full of minerals as well. So that's very important. If you are not a vegetarian, if you eat meat, then also include bone broth. It's very important. If you are vegetarian, but that you're okay with drinking some bone broth, then please go ahead. It's fantastic. It helps you produce collagen. So it's very important. The fifth phase, the last one, is to rebalance your body. So at this stage, you are pretty much sorted. You have everything on track. You shouldn't have any more or too many symptoms, and you can live a life, as you would have done before having your condition. So at this stage, you want to make sure that you're not losing all the efforts that you have put in for so many weeks. And this is where the rebalancing phase comes in. So if you are still of a stress type, make sure that you are still addressing the lifestyle changes in order for you to reduce your stress. You can do it with the options that I mentioned before, but there are many other options that you can use to do that. So you can also envisage, having some Reiki, for example, many other things. Bach flowers, for example. Another thing that is very important to do, and I think we have seen this over this past year of lockdown, we've seen that relationships and human contact is very important. I mean, it doesn't have to be human. If you have an animal, it's great as well. But really, yes, talk with friends, connect with people, exchange ideas, nurture your relationships with your family, your friends, your loved ones, anybody, even someone in the street that you don't know. It's always good just to say hi, and they're going to respond hi back, and it's going to make you feel happy for 5 minutes. That's great. Really, the key here is to make sure that we are as happy, as joyful as possible. Another thing that you can do for that is really to take on a hobby, something that makes your heart sing. That's what I'm really trying to get across here. That's very important to rebalance everything. Why is that? Because when you're going to finish your reparation phase and you're feeling okay, if you don't know how to manage this, then you're going to go back from scratch. And, you know, instead of that, you just want to have a fun life. If you have to order in a restaurant, you want to be able to know exactly what you're going to order, to make the right choices, etc. So really, you need to rebalance your lifestyle as well as the rest. As naturopath, we are always looking at the body, the mind, and the soul. So, you know, if the soul and the mind are looked after, they're going to have a positive impact on the body as well. So this is really for the 5 aspects of this protocol. Now, it can be daunting and difficult to do. Yes, it is. I'm not going to lie to you. So we have created for that some programs that, you know, from which we take you from point 0 to, you know, success in 16 weeks. This is one of the programs that we created. It's a coaching, personalized coaching program in which you are getting a lot of one-to-one private consultations. You are also getting personalized recipe meals for, you know, each week that we're working on. You're also getting a lot of resources, information on how to check labels, how to make a bone broth, how to read a menu in a restaurant, many things that are going to help you with that. So it's very important. You're also getting supplements recommendations, and 10% off our supplements as well. So this is for, in brief, our coaching, wellbeing coaching one-to-one program. The second thing that we have available for you, it's a membership. And that's a 5 months membership where, you know, you have access to your resources online. You also have contacts with us, but not so much. And all these resources are for you to download with the recipes, tests, quizzes to do, information on many aspects of the journey. The program lasts 5 months, but you have access to all this information for a year. If you don't know what to do, if you are lost, if you don't know if you want to work with us, or if you don't know how to start your program on your own, then don't hesitate to contact us. You have a free 30 minutes consultation with us that you can book at any time, and we're very happy to help you and to guide you through. Now, we are going to put the link of this free 30 minutes consultation under this video, and you can let us know if you need any help anytime you want. So I hope this video helped you. I hope that you liked it, and if you liked it, just give it a thumbs up. If you like it even more, then just subscribe to the channel. There's going to be a lot of videos and a lot of information on this channel. So thank you very much for watching.